Our dear college home, Jackson State University, is in the heart of Jackson, Mississippi, 1400 J.R. Lynch Street. The university has brought college students from all over the world to dwell in unity for campus events, informational sermons, student involvement rallies, and general in the know campus life info. These pep rallies, day parties, and stroll-offs are all held in the plaza of the university, better known as the Hotspot. Students, faculty, and alumni all come together to meet here to socialize, network, and overall have a great time. The JSU Hotspot is more than a party spot. The area on campus has been noted to be a meeting spot for organization and club recruits, military sign-up, and even business promotion and job recruiting.
Actually, my first hotspot was before I actually even made it to high school. I came back with my mom and my siblings for homecoming, and we witnessed the hotspot, and I was like, whoa. As a little kid, you just see a lot of people, jumping around, dancing, having fun. You're like, is this what college is about? When do they go to class? Like, being young, you don't really know how that goes. But as I grew and I started to see it, and I had different friends graduate from high school and travel, and we did tours, things like high school day, I got to become more acclimated to how college works. So, outside of the scholarship and, going to class and doing the things, there are those moments to have fun, and I learned that the hotspot was that moment for students. Like, a fall semester without a hotspot is like a fish without water. So for Jackson State, that's tradition. So to break tradition, it would be like, okay, so it's time to transfer, right? Is that what you're telling me? Like,
I don't know. The hotspot idea really kind of sneaked up on us as professors, because I didn't know it was called a hotspot. I just knew that certain Fridays or whatever, people would be hanging out on the walkway, the plaza. And then I started hearing students use this term called the hotspot. And so, being in theater, we just saw that, hey, this is a great opportunity to advertise. I was always concerned as a professor, because I was like, what about the professors who are teaching right there in the building close to that area? But I've never been in a faculty senate meeting or a chairs meeting or a college of liberal arts meeting and heard anybody complain about it. I think it just became a part of the tradition at Jackson State. It's become a part of the tradition. And I'm surprised to hear how many students really look forward to it and how many students really talk about it, and it becomes a part of it. I might have to go out there and see how hot the spot really is, because they always talking about it.
A member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority, Rhonda Moore, now Dr. Rhonda Moore Jackson, asked to schedule a hotspot. When asked what she meant by hotspot, she explained, the place everyone wants to be. Student organizations scheduled events with music, food, or giveaways to promote activities on the plaza. The Office of Student Activities referred to the events as noontime events because of the approval time between 12 and 1 p.m. However, this was the first time it was given the name Hotspot.
Well, when us freshmen first got here, they had freshman week. They had different types of hotspots and step shows and parties and stuff. And the other students were telling me that the parties were, they was the fun thing, the party and stuff like that. But me personally, I'm not a party person, But I did go to the different hotspots and stuff that were on campus instead of the stuff that were off campus and stuff. And I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. It's always fun when you get to meet new people and stuff like that, and you get to experience stuff that you never experienced from because it's college. This is our first time here being in college, so I liked the different stuff they had going on. It made me feel welcome. I enjoyed it. Yes, I feel like it's a part of Jackson State, the Jackson State culture. Because I've heard from previous students that the hotspot been going on for a minute now. It ain't just started. So yeah. I think it is a part of Jackson State culture. Jackson State would be different without the hotspot, because everybody would be looking forward to a hotspot every Friday, So what we gonna do now? Have a hotspot in the cab? Go to the cab and have a little turn up session? I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, it is part of Jackson State culture.
I heard that term, but I'm not familiar with what the students do. I don't get a chance to walk the campus much. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's really going on the plaza. It's a very pretty place for students to hang out. when I walk across there, going to the bookstore and other places on the north part of campus, I see that there are great areas to congregate.
Actually, I haven't had an advisor or, any type of faculty actually just, advise against it. But there are some teachers that will schedule something at 12 o'clock knowing there's Hotspot. And even when you tell them, they'll be like, well, school is more important. You're just like, bruh, I school 5 days a week, 5 hours out of that day. Can I please just have 1 hour to just kick back? But yeah, as a chemistry major especially, and I'm sure any CSET major period can attest to this, but I know chemistry for a fact because that's my field. That 1 hour after you've just had 3 classes back to back, that 1 hour does you some good. It gives you time to clear your mind and just enjoy being a student, being a college student at that. At a HBCU, it gives you that moment. It gives you that moment of chill, I guess, but turn up because the music is not really chill, but if you get what I'm saying, yeah.
I was a student here from 1988 to 1992. At the time, what you're standing on now, the walkway, was a street.
Okay.
Lynch Street came all the way down. Students could drive all the way up until you got to this point at the Jacob L. Reddick Center. The Jacob L. Reddick Center was the student union at that time. So this was pretty much the hub of the campus because just like the student center is today, the Reddick Center used to be for us during that time. Just about everything as far as parties, events that would go on campus happened in this area right here. There used to be steps leading up to the plaza. This was the main area of the university. If the Greeks were gonna reveal their new lines, they would always come up the plaza and up the steps, and the performance would be given in that area. All of the Greek trees, besides the Omega tree used to be right here in front of Just Science Hall, but the other Greek trees lined the plaza all the way up to the administration tower.
Well, I guess we didn't call them hot spots, but the spot where we were, the spots where we were definitely hot. We had, at that time, the campus actually was not closed off. Well, it was closed off, but the entrance right here at Lynch Street, it wasn't closed off, and so cars could come in and go around and drive around and come out, and that was like the highlight, especially on Friday afternoons, or either Friday nights or something like that. You probably would. I can remember driving in that same thing, that same arch, about at least 40 times, and just drive around, and you can park, and people would get out, and people would hang in front of the student union building, the Reddicks at that time. So that was our hot spot. Yeah, and then the plaza itself, so that was contained to that little area. I don't know why this always sticks in my mind. I guess it's because when I was riding, I saw my roommate had one of my shirts on, and that sticks with me because I was riding. I guess it's what the arch is now, the horseshoe right in front of Reddicks, and I was riding and going around doing my Friday thing, and I looked over and I saw it. But a typical Friday evening would be you're driving through there. And it would be a line because you would stop and honk at people and talk at people, get out and talk. And the fraternities had trees at that time. And the Kappas were the only fraternity whose tree was on the other side of the campus over by the cafeteria. Everybody else's was over by the admissions tower and stuff like that. So you would always go in front of theirs and they would hang out and be doing something. So it was really exciting in terms of people just congregating right in that central area. Not much went on in other parts of the campus, but in that central area, it was always great.
Well, one thing, a lot of people who haven't been to the university in a long time, they're really amazed when they come through here and they see that this is now, the spot where all the students hang out instead of it being in that area. I remember when President Ronald Mason was in office here, that was when all of the Greek trees were cut down. And of course, the students were really, really upset about that. Not just the Greek students, but the other students as well, because you got to understand those trees were very, very, very old trees. But for the Greeks, it was history that was gone. So they were pretty upset about that. And in its place, they made all of the plots, further down the walkway. It was closed off pretty much after the Gibbs Green incident, when the students were killed on campus. That was in the late 60s, early 70s. So to prevent incidents like that from happening again, they closed off the streets so that commuters couldn't just drive through the university. During the 80s and the late 80s and early 90s, the street came and stopped pretty much at just Science Hall, and then you could turn and go back down.
Well, I don't know exactly, but I know it was the post construction of Reddix. They had closed Reddix down, that area in front of it, for a long time, and I remember saying I felt bad for the students who attended Jackson State in that 4-year time period, because they did not get to experience any of that, because it was barren out there. It was just grassy. And imagine having to come to college and not have that experience. But whatever that time period was, it could have been around 2000 or 2001. I don't know in the 22 years, but I know it was shut down for like 3 or 4 years. And that meant that freshmen who came in didn't get that experience.
I will say that the weekly hotspots, as far as just before games, are nothing compared to the homecoming hotspot. But that's how everybody looks at it. Homecoming hotspot is always going to be the biggest hotspot. But outside of that, and as far as back when I first got to experience the hotspot, I have to say that now it's louder. I guess because the music has changed. So as far as that goes, the music, and then with this generation being, a more upbeat generation, more technology field generation, now you see a lot of people recording the hotspots, or actually intertwining, I guess, and mixing the technology into the hotspot. So I guess that would be the biggest change.
Yeah, I do agree with him, because it's, especially during this time, because it is homecoming time now, and it's just to let the students have fun, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause we always working, we always work every day, Monday through Friday. We work on class and stuff. In college now, they give out work. I'm talking about like a lot of work, and so like just to take our mind off the work, you know what I'm saying, so we can have a little fun outside of class. I agree with it. I like it.
I don't remember homecoming as much in terms of parties and things. We had our big excitement was at homecoming was to be prepared and see all of the graduates come back. They always came back well dressed and very dignified, and that was a big thing for us. And we did not have a good stadium. Our stadium was just old time bleachers where you could fall through if you didn't step on the board right. So homecoming was just the preparation for those returning.
Okay, well, being that I am a new member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, I will have to say that when the Greeks perform at the hotspot, watching it and being a part of it are two totally different experiences. Watching it, it's like, oh snap, they having fun. Okay, for the Greeks, being a part of it, it is a fight to the finish. Because you have the AKAs, you have the SG rows, the IOTAs, the Sigmas, the Qs. Everybody's just everywhere. We're all going at it, and it's not competition, but it's like at the same time it kind of is. So it's just like the intensity is not competitive intensity, but it's like get out the way because here we come, or we're coming, get out the way. But it's fun competition. It's kind of like sibling rivalry if you think about it.
Yes, I'm glad that they do that. I'm glad that they see that because I'm pretty sure like students we stress. We you know what I'm saying. We have about six, 7 classes that we take, and it's work on top of work on top of work in every class. And you know we gonna take our mind off there sometimes. That's what the Hotspot do for us. You know what I'm saying. Take our mind off where we turn up for the moment. You know what I'm saying. We got to think about all. We put that on the back burner for right now. We think about what's going on now. So I'm glad they do that and take that into consideration that we want to relieve some stress, you know?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's really good. I think that it has to be a balance in college. It's safe, it's contained, it's on the campus. It gives students an opportunity to really interact with each other. And it is so popular that when I'm pre-registering students for the next semester, I've had students who say, I can't take a 12 o'clock class because I can't miss the hotspot. So for that to be their response says that it's a pretty going thing. It's a pretty happening thing here at Jackson State.
Well, I think, for one, everybody has an opinion. So I'm not going to say that they're wrong or that they're right. I will say that I can agree and then I have to disagree because at the end of the day, your decision or a student's decision to come here shouldn't just be based on the fun that we have. So that's first and foremost. But going into it, I will say that the energy has shifted as far as my freshman year versus my senior year. Like there's not many people that are just into it anymore. But I will say that it'll always be a hotspot, so it'll always have that nature of fun. So for those who choose not to, indulge in it, that's on them. Because I go to the hotspot and enjoy myself. If all I'm doing is listening to the music, dancing with my friends, I'm gonna enjoy it. So you have to make the experience yours. You can't just go off of what other people say.
The best part about the hotspots is when everybody comes out and participates in it. So it's like you see all your friends and like your teammates, and it's just a good time, like dancing, singing, having fun, like on your way to class or skip class to go. But no, don't do that because I don't do that.
You be skipping class to go to the hospital?
No, I don't. I go to my 12 o'clock. But I get out at 12:50, so I only get to enjoy like 10 minutes of it. But it's very fun. Freshman year, I was at all the hotspots, and it was fun.
No matter your race, gender, or economic background, JSU Hotspot accepts everyone with loving arms and reliable sources. At the Hotspot, we are more than just peers. We are family.
Not just Jackson State, but...
Make sure the spot is hot if you're going to call it a hot spot.
But DJ, can you take me out on something? Can I get one more? Because I want you to know you made your boy cry in the bed when my breath was stinking when you hit that melodies. So can you hit something else for me?
For those of you that think that gospel music has gone too far, you think we've gotten...